This video is just a quick way to address one of the main problems I see with homeowners applying for a loan modification, which is the closing of their file when it shouldn't have been closed. If you are a subscriber to the page, welcome back. If not, make sure you like, subscribe. If you have a question or a comment, feel free to reach out. I always try to get back to people kind of as quickly as possible. So when you apply for a loan modification, you have a review on the lender's end that's going to be opened. That's what's known as an opened review. The thing that opens your review is the submission of your document package with your financial documents and your application form. If you want more information on what documents to submit and how that process works, there are other videos on this page that can give you more information about what you're supposed to submit. But for purposes of this video, you send everything in you need to submit, and the lender is supposed to then open review. And then what happens is detailed in other videos, but basically they review the documents, they review your income, they review your expenses, and then they see if they can make you an offer to allow you to modify the loan to just resume making mortgage payments without having to pay the full amount that you missed. So that's just a real brief kind of overview of the process. So the most important thing to make sure is that the entire time your loan modification review is going on, your file has to stay open. That is something you should be asking every time you call in to check. Most likely it will stay open, but something that I see happen is lenders will just think that there's an issue going on and they might just close your file. The most common way that files get closed when they shouldn't have been closed is when the lender issues a document request saying, we've received your documents, but we need additional things. If you are not tracking and following what the lender is needing, they will give you a certain amount of time to provide the missing documents. If you don't provide the missing documents, they will assume that you no longer want to move forward, and then one day you'll call in to check on your file and you'll be told that your file has been closed. This happens more times than not, and it's very distressing because you think everything is just going well, and then suddenly the bank's like, oh, we closed your file. So I'm just going to tell you right now how to prevent that. That's really the most common situation that will cause a file to be closed. The lender will agree or will write in their system that the file was incomplete, that you didn't provide documents, and that will allow them to close the file. Don't get me started on how that's really wrong and they shouldn't be doing that, but that is kind of something that can happen. So number one, you need to be calling every 48 hours and asking the bank every 2 days, is there anything missing on my file? Banks will put missing document requests into letters, then they'll mail the letters, but the letters may take a few weeks to get there. You cannot rely on them calling you to give you information that there's missing documents. You cannot rely on them to email you. All of the normal communication ways that we all kind of function with, you can't rely on that from the banks. And you don't want to rely on that because it will take so long for a letter telling you what's missing to get to you. You need to be more proactive. You need to be calling every 48 hours to make sure that you're responsible, that nothing has shown up as a missing item that's needed. So call every 48 hours, make sure there's no missing items, and then you want to ask the direct question, right? You always want to say when you call, is my whatever your review is my short sale review or is my loan modification review open at this time? And they will tell you, yes, it's open and here's the missing documents, or they'll say, yes, it's open and there's no missing documents at this time. So this solution to this problem is real straightforward. You don't want to let your file get closed out because you miss the document request. So after you submit your initial package, take the responsibility yourself, call them every 48 hours and just ask them if there's anything showing up as needed. And then if there is, write down what's needed and send them back to the bank as soon as possible, and then call up regularly to make sure they've received what you've sent back so that your file doesn't get closed. If your file gets closed, that doesn't mean it's over. That doesn't mean they've denied you. It just means they've stopped reviewing you and removed you from the system. So if you have a weird file closure in the middle of your review, even if you were on top of it with the missing documents, mistakes happen, right? Don't panic. All you need to do in that situation is just resubmit your original financial package, resubmit your application, make sure all the dates on your documents are up to date, right? They always want to be within 30 days. So redate your documents and resubmit your package, and that will open the review back up again. But the best thing to do for this whole file closure issue is just to be calling regularly so that they know you're paying attention to what's going on and so that you can catch anything that's needed that might cause a closure right when it comes up. Good luck.